Because now this is right in my face, or
So for the record and for minutes, this is the County of Sullivan Industrial Development Agency public hearing for the proposed Maud Crawford Realty LLC and Bridgeville Ski Company Inc. PBA Holiday Mountain Project. It is 9:00 a.m. on April 21st, 2023. All the requirements for a public hearing have been met. Would anyone present like me to read the notice of public hearing? No. Okay, thank you. So if anyone has questions or comments about the project, this is your time.
are there people on there? Or you can? You say you're live streaming?
Yeah, yes.
So are there other people?
No,
Oh.
so the hearing is just in person, but we are required to live stream to
Oh.
YouTube, and so we're on the internet.
I saw it. There's no presentation or anything. Okay, so maybe I'll just take this stuff and then read it, and then if I have questions.
Yeah, you're welcome to,
Okay.
if you have any comments now, if you have questions now,
No, I think we were, I just came from the town just to support the project, see what we can do to help, and just see what was planned.
great. Yeah, so it's the summary of the project is, there's a brief summary in the cost benefit analysis. I think that the application really just indicates the purchase and rehabilitation, so it doesn't give a whole lot of detail. But the cost benefit tells a little bit more about the scope of the project. I was not at our board meeting on the 10th, but Mike Taylor was there and he gave a presentation on the project.
Oh,
And so,
okay.
and you can also see that on our website.
Okay.
I can send you the link to it. So
Cool.
he talked more about it.
That'd be great.
Actually, I'll email you that link right now. So we
Yeah.
Hey, how are
Good
you?
morning. How are you?
Doing all right. Is this IDA stuff coming in?
Yes, we're in a public hearing.
Public hearing, you have any comments to make?
What are we commenting on?
It's the Holiday Mountain project.
I think it's great. I owe you information on that. For NYSERDA, the new
Oh,
construction program.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Go for it.
Great.
There,
Thanks,
that's my
Heather.
public comment.
Good, how are you? Good.
Yeah.
Hello, Jill.
Hi,
Hello,
Dan.
Jen.
Good morning.
How are you?
You don't mind me sneaking through? do you?
Please do.
Anyway, that-
It's
You're
away.
close.
Open's good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, Jen. I think Cassandra passed on to, or not Jen, Jill. Boy, you know these J's and J's. I think Cassandra passed on to you, the photographer request. Did you see that?
Oh,
From
yeah.
Sullivan Manor?
Uh-huh.
Okay. just
I
wanted
know
to
in the
check.
past we denied it. They wanted to do group sessions in them, but this is just one-on-one, but still nervous.
It's
about it.
completely up to you.
Yeah.
I can vouch for her,
Yeah.
because
But I
she's a
think
personal
it's just
friend,
more
but that's not.
concern of
pressure.
the safety.
Yeah.
I'm like maybe outside, but we'll
And I
see.
had told her the condition is not great.
Yeah.
So, and if she wants to go inside, yeah, I'd probably be on your side on
Yeah.
it to say, because I've been inside there.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think we have our board meeting on Wednesday, so we were gonna just,
as long as you got it,
Yeah.
whatever choice you make is fine by me.
thank
So-
you.
All right, thank you. Jill,
Dan.
see you. Jen.
Bye, Dan. No, I don't need any more comments on. How long do you have to leave it open for?
I usually go 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, I just wanted to also ask if he had reached out to you about the cost share and all that
Yes.
stuff.
Yep, and so he's connected with Brian Zweig,
Okay, good,
and they've had some conversations, so.
good.
Yeah. And then,
Cause that's what I told him. I said, we can't really help you until you, I mean, okay, yeah, this is a little bit, but until you have what you're looking to buy and what the cost and projected expense, number of employees, all that stuff, we can't go after grants.
right, and I think it'll happen quickly, because I mean, he wants to be.
Right, so that's what I said. If he's looking to open by December, right, like, when we do grants, right, I always say, plan your 5-year plan, but if you apply for the grant now and you get it, you don't have to wait till year 5. You can build it in year 2 or year 3. So, yeah, you can't plan for the startup cost because you're already in it, right? Like, he's gonna open.
Right.
But if he was looking to do stuff down the road, but could do it earlier if the grant comes through, then it makes sense. And he's already spending money, so why not? Like, it's not like, you're not forcing him to create employees. He's gonna have to create employees, so
Right.
some of those CDBGs where you are only getting, like, how many employees does he have currently? So I mean, is he probably considered a small business versus the economic development?
I would think so, because, what do we say?
I think economic development, you can get more money, but it's less per employee.
Oh, okay.
But again, we always say, don't create a job, because the grant's basically gonna pay for the employee, right? Like these small businesses. But if he's gotta create the jobs anyway, then it's cake. That 15,000 or 25,000 per job,
Right.
can go towards the ski lift or the utilities or working capital, whatever he needs it for, but he's already spending it, so it's not like he's forcing a job just to get that 15,000 or 25,000.
Right. Yeah, and we were I think he's being pretty conservative with his job numbers, because, in part because we want to make sure that he doesn't establish a target for himself that's too high that he can't meet. With every project we do that, we try to be careful that
You don't
hit a
oversell.
target that's so high that you then have to get a pilot penalty if you don't meet it.
And is it all one thing, like the ski hill versus the rentals versus the food? Is it all one, or are they all leasing?
I believe
Stuff.
I believe it's gonna be all the same operation, not vendors doing
Right,
that work.
because then that's, you probably still would create divisions within that, right? To see which is making money versus which is costing you money.
Right.
Is the food helping you cover the lifts?
Right.
But that's what I told him. I said, you have to kind of go through and see how many people you anticipate, at what it cost, and what you anticipate to cash flow to help pay off the bills. And then that's where we can then say, okay, well, we can use this grant. And I had emailed Monique. Have you talked to her at all about this and see what Empire State could throw at it? Because I feel like from a regional standpoint, they don't really ever care about our parking lot projects and our small business projects, but this creates a destination and is kind of like Bethel Woods, or, they have their Mount Peter in the Hudson Valley, but this creates another ski venue to kind of help bolster it. So I feel like the Hudson Valley would care about it, so they should want to fund it.
Yeah, I would think so.
So. And is he getting rid of the fun park portion in the front there? Do you know? The go-karts and the bumper boats?
Don't know. You didn't mention getting good.
I mean, I know he mentioned that they really tore up the hill with the motor bike thing stuff. And that he was gonna kind of have to repair the hills from that,
Oh, yeah.
but I didn't know if he's gonna just start and then go over. Right, versus come back, because that used to be like the tow road, the intermediate and some of the other hills. But I didn't know if he was gonna rehab them or just leave that as the fun part.
I do not know.
Give Joanna 51% of the business, so it's a MWBE. No.
I don't know how the ownership breaks.
Oh, so he has job retention. So he bought the business and is keeping the business name.
It's a different business name, and yeah, he's not, I don't think he's purchased the business yet. I don't think he's purchased anything yet.
It just says
But so the
for-
job, so right at the facility. So our figures are. The retention is. How many employees are there currently at the facility? And then, or how many of those are going to be retained? Obviously, he's planning to retain them all and create some new. So he has 30 part-time and 4 full-time existing at the facility. They'll be retained, and then 2 permanent, 2 full-time jobs created. He's also obviously thinking of more. Yeah, 10 part-time jobs created. Yeah, right. Regardless of who owns it or who their employees of, how many people are working there? And then are there going to be more people working there? Yes. And okay, how many more? So we're not looking as much at the business, like the entity that's operating it, and
Right.
whether that entity changes hands. We're looking at the number of jobs at the location.
Yeah, I wonder how the granting source would see that, because it's not. Again, if it's a new company. I mean, you're retaining jobs in the area. But for the business, there's no jobs, right? unless he's buying the business. Right, because you're saying you're looking at the number of people employed in the county, just say, right? So whether the ski hill closed tomorrow, those people are out of a job.
Mhm.
But if the ski hill sells to another entity and that entity now has to start, those aren't their jobs, those are just jobs that are in the community. This new business is taking on those people, they're bringing them to them, but they're creating new jobs for that business entity versus retaining them. They're retaining them cumulatively in the county as jobs, but for that business entity, they're technically, I would think, new jobs.
I don't know how a granting agency would look at that. It's a new business.
Because unless they're buying the business, buying those employees, can't buy employees, but buying that cash flow and that payroll. There's brand new payroll for this new business.
Right.
So I feel like they're new jobs for the business, but they're not new jobs for the
For
county.
the, right.
And so I guess I'm just curious how that would work. And that might be a question for CDBG
Right. Yeah, I don't know how to.
or how
look at that.
ESD would look at it.
Right. Right.
It's just difference between two full-time and 10 part-time versus 6 full-time and 40 part-time.
Right.
You get a lot more money for the 6 and 40 versus the 2 and 10.
Right.
But again, you might not want to deal with grants and paperwork and. Yeah. But my theory is you're spending the money anyway, then it's easy. Get somebody to do the paperwork.
Right.
It's like a coupon.
Exactly. Wouldn't it be great if everybody thought of grants as like a coupon?
But it's only good if you're gonna eat the stuff. If
Right.
you're using the coupon to just let it sit on your shelf. Or because it tastes gross.
Right.
And you throw it away, then the coupon was worthless. You still spent the money.
Right.
Oh, well.
Is your email address just is it your?
J
first name?
Wire.
Okay.
Wire@town. Are you still live streaming?
Right. All right, it's now 9:20 a.m. And we're going to close the public hearing for the proposed Maud Crawford Realty LLC and Bridgeville Ski Company Inc. DBA Holiday Mountain Project.